Welcome to TwinTalk, where we discuss relevant gaming news and other things related to gamer geek culture. Today we're going to be discussing the two competing virtual reality headsets for gaming. So what are virtual reality headsets? Essentially, they've been seen in sci-fi movies over the years and years and years. They're goggles, essentially, you put on your head, makes you look all crazy, transports your visuals into a whole other dimension. Holodeck. Oh, a holodeck, like the Star Trek Next Generation holodeck. Not quite there yet. Not quite that fancy. I doubt they can emulate. I doubt these goggles can emulate smells. But we're going to be discussing the two major gaming VR headsets. Okay, and basically the two we have, is the Oculus Rift, which we've been hearing about for the last few years, 2 years. I don't know how old it is, but it's very new. And we've been.
They started with Kickstarter.
Yeah, they did. They're one of the first things I really heard about Kickstarter, honestly. I mean, I didn't know what Kickstarter was until like the Oculus kicked in, and then all of a sudden the Ooh Yeah came in, which turned out to be a big failure. Okay, so we're discussing the Oculus Rift, and the brand new announced Sony Project Morpheus VR. Ooh, so this is extremely interesting turn of events. So you're gonna have the Oculus Rift. Essentially all that's going to be required for that, is you're gonna need a camera,
Which comes with it.
It's shipped with the Oculus. Yes. You're gonna need a computer, which if you're watching this, I assume you have one. Or
they might be on a phone.
You might be on a mobile device. Might be a few years before your Oculus works with that, but
you can get that other virtual reality headset.
Yeah, I guess Android's. Or somebody's making an Android. Whatever. Who cares? But let's say the family owns a computer. One of them fancy things. Everybody's got one nowadays. But so you need a computer. It comes with a camera. It needs. And very, very recently, like somebody flipped a table when I heard this. Literally, Facebook acquired Oculus Rift. What do you mean Facebook acquired Oculus Rift? What does Facebook have to do with gaming in general?
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. The whole industry's kind of flipping right now.
Yeah, I mean, took me by surprise. I mean, I sort of get it, which I'll discuss later in this. But, okay. So, with the... and then one of the advantages of the Oculus Rift, is that it's not connected to a PS4. Yeah, that sounds bad. I mean, it's not locked and restricted to the PS4. It doesn't have to be there if they choose to do Xbox One support. Although I read a comment about them saying something like it's so far ahead of the next gen consoles, like it doesn't make sense to make it for it or something like that. Like the consoles can't handle the resolution that this Oculus Rift can.
I'd imagine for the dual screens.
Yeah. They pulled a really ugly joke out about how the Xbox One can only barely achieve 720p with 60 hertz. So how could it do it with the Oculus Rift? Which is kind of cruel to say for starters. I know. After the years go by, if you compare two games, I gotta sit here defending poor Microsoft here. If you look at Skyrim and Oblivion. Well, one's at the beginning of a generation and one's at the end of a generation. And I don't know about you, but one's significantly better than the other. When it comes to just the graphicalness, the physics, everything about it just works a lot better because they figured out the platform. We already have games at 1080p, 60 hertz, blah, blah, blah on the Xbox One, blah, blah, blah. Yes, some of them can't do it. Why? Because most of those are cross-generational games, which we go on a big rant about in our very first episode of Twin Talk. But anyway, so this thing is not restricted to a PS4. So Project Morpheus. So the requirements for that. Number one, you have to have a PS4. I'm already left in the dark with that. I don't own a PS4. It's starting to get more attractive, depending on what the price of this Morpheus is. Number two, you need a PlayStation camera. And I'm not talking about your iToy for the PS3, or the PS3 camera, if anybody wants you know, if there is a difference between the iToy for the PS3 and they might not have an iToy for a PS3. I don't know, but the PlayStation camera for the PS3 will not work with this. Okay, you need to have the PS4 camera, and if you don't have a PlayStation 4 camera yet, you're gonna have to go get one because most of the people who bought a PS4 didn't get it. Okay, they didn't want PlayStation Move. They didn't want the PlayStation
That
camera.
was a selling point for the Xbox One versus PS4 debate. The not having to pay for the camera was the selling point.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't come with a camera.
Well, yeah, and it did reduce the price, but if you're planning on getting this VR, you're gonna have to go buy one. The camera itself, I saw that you can buy for $60 at Walmart. You can buy it for, I think it was $80 at GameStop. I don't know if it's just online deals, whatever. So it's gonna roughly cost you $80. Okay, let's just say that. Now,
it does have an advantage being on PS4 over the Oculus.
It does. But the last thing I wanted to say about that is that it's backed by Sony. Okay, the Oculus is now backed by Facebook. Whoa.
Which is not a gaming company.
Which is not, but they sure got the finances to do whatever they want. And then Project Morpheus is, of course, backed by Sony, which is an electronics giant.
Yeah.
It's an electronics giant. You know, they've always made consumer electronics. Always.
And, of course, they've been at the beginning, almost the beginning of the console race.
Yeah, so, I mean, they know what they're doing. And whether they're copying Oculus or not, you know.
Well, they see it as a trend, and it's okay that they're attempting to make their own headset because this grows the market and creates competition.
Innovation!
And drives the desire for such things. I mean, now this is going to be a game console, and gamers have the console. They already have the console, okay? And I guess with the Oculus Rift is fine because it works with PC or just a computer, and of course you can just play a game on that. But this is backed by a gaming company. Okay, Sony knows how to make games. They know how to make game consoles, so this is a good thing.
Yeah, so essentially they know what they're doing. Okay, and then also the one advantage that I'm seeing, okay, about the Project Morpheus versus the Oculus Rift. Okay, I don't know for a fact about the Oculus, but if you turn your head all the way around, okay, there's no sensors on the back of the headset that the camera uses to see the Oculus. Okay, they have sensors on the front. I'm almost positive they don't have any in the back because it's just a strap.
Yeah, it's just
the PlayStation one has these big light nodes. They're calling them nodes, which is fine, you know. But they have lights on the back as well because it wraps around. There's a plastic band. I heard it's very comfortable and it kind of counterbalances the weight.
Yeah,
so
so it's not all on your face, not like a pound and a half glasses.
Yeah. So the one advantage they have though is that they have PlayStation Move controllers, which is kind of cool when you think about it. I mean, it kind of it's kind of like a blend between throwing Kinect on virtual reality, which is kind of cool, but you need to hold the controller.
Yeah.
I know there's a movement controller, so you could probably only use one. You know,
from the demos we saw though, they
were using two, which
so I'd imagine they couldn't move unless they had a customized one or a specialized.
Well, when I was watching a lot of their thing, like when they had one demo where they were using the Kinect control, or the PlayStation Waggles, whatever they are.
Ironically, the Kinect doesn't have a controller.
Yeah. They were using two PlayStation wands, okay, and they could not move. As far as I saw, they did not walk anywhere.
Yeah, they never walked anywhere.
Which I could see could be a little bit difficult. Like, how are they going to walk? You're going to have to shake your controllers like this?
I think
it's
it
like
might have just been a
Kinect. Or...
I think it might have just been a tech demo showing what you could do with, like, two movement controllers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you could... They
to track your hand, basically, kind of deal. They're kind of, like, not using a Kinect, so they have the two, but I don't know. I think it was a tech demo.
Yeah. So, but that's one of the big advantages that Project Morpheus has over the Oculus Rift is it already has a controller, and many people already own them from the past PS3, PlayStation Move. If you bought it, otherwise you might have to go buy another controller. So if you have a PS4, you might have to go buy a camera, buy this headset, and buy the controller. There's a good chance they'll have bundles.
See,
but
I'm just not sure
some
though.
People already have that stuff.
Now. It may be fine. You may be able to use these, but I'd wonder if these were... I mean, this could potentially be early tech demos of what you could do with such controllers. Yeah. It's possible that they may not even be supported in the final version. They may make a new, way more improved moving controller, you know.
They might ship it with a controller.
Well, maybe.
That would be cool. Yeah. Maybe they might have
cool.
some bundles to, like, fix this very early issue. They just announced this thing, to be fair, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed by what I've seen. And if Sony is building a virtual reality headset, darn well they're gonna figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
That's just one of the most fascinating things for me is that Sony already knows how to do this stuff, but when we look back at the Oculus, okay, and Facebook just acquired this, it's like, okay. Now, when I first saw the PlayStation,
Project Morpheus?
yeah, Project Morpheus, okay, I was very impressed. I was like, oh, smack.
least the
Darn,
gaming company
Oculus,
picked
you
it up.
just got wiped. I mean, it's not like you got the finances to compete with the Sony industry giant. They're going to mass produce this thing. You guys are going to get left in the dust. And then, I think it was like the next day.
Yeah,
or maybe
really.
the day after that. They're like, oh, Facebook buys Oculus. Whoa, now, I guess I was wrong.
That was a strange title to come across.
Yeah, that was... I didn't expect
Acquired Oculus VR. I was like, did they acquire a
It's like, am I
a
reading
Rift?
that right?
Did they buy a Rift, or is that the whole Rift?
So, what does this mean for the Oculus? And I think it can mean a whole lot of things.
There's a whole lot of potential for it to move.
I'm sure they're probably working around a lot of financial things, especially now that you have Sony directly throwing themselves in their market. Because really, Oculus was the only truly affordable, easily implemented virtual reality headset.
Yeah.
For consumers in general.
It's being made for consumers, specifically for consumers. That's the
Well,
whole
yeah,
idea
because
behind
I mean, early headsets would probably run you at least $700 to $800. At least. One thing I'm extremely worried about is, number one, Sony's kind of jumping in this. They're going to have to obviously improve upon the Oculus design. If they don't, they might get slapped back with the whole resolution argument garbage that everybody's been throwing around about the consoles. It's like, but if they put out their headset with a lower resolution, Oculus is going to be smacking them saying, oh, we got a super high resolution. So I'm kind of curious, how much is this going to set someone who owns a PS4 back if you want to buy one of these things? I'm hoping, something tells me it's going to cost roughly $450. Which is an ugly price tag. I mean, I would hope for $300.
Oculus is they're aiming very specifically for 300-ish, and they said it's going to be anywhere from 200 to 400.
Something
Anywhere in
tells
between
me,
there.
I'm hoping. I mean, I would pay about $350.
I'd pay up to $350. I'm betting anything. It's
If
gonna
you
be
pay
$390.
$400, I mean, wasn't that the
It'll be
price of the PS4
$399.
in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, unless they bundle it together for a $400 price tag, get a camera, controller,
Well, see, an important thing
the
here
headset.
is that Oculus already made a comment, obviously a nasty little comment against the Xbox One or Microsoft saying, oh, the console can't even handle this. Well, the thing is that Project Morpheus is definitely going to be able to handle a PS4, or at least be emulated to its fullest potential. It's made for the console, and that's very, very important, where Oculus VR, of course, they're saying, well, the consoles are a little behind. So where this new headset may not be the highest of quality or the utmost of precision, it will be playable on your wonderful gaming machine made very specifically for games.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited about this whole thing, even though I own an Xbox One, so I might not get to experience any of it.
We got a nice computer. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I might buy an Oculus. I might just buy a PS4.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's
I don't know.
true.
Maybe I'll buy it like Black Friday this year. Who knows? Anyway, if you like this video, please do us a great favor. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to regret it. We have our weekly talk show, which is TwinTalk, where we discuss relevant gaming news and other things related to gamer geek culture. Also, we also post a lot of reviews. My last review just went up for Titanfall, the Titan giant of the Xbox One.
Yeah, if you're not already playing that game, or if you just strictly own a PS4 for obvious reasons, you might want to check it out.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with owning a PS4, but I mean, might as well look at your different options. And I like looking at PS4 games because it's like, hey, maybe I should go pick one up finally. You know? So, Again, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button. You're not going to regret it. I'm assuming if you bought a PS4, you probably don't have. I'm going to have to get you to go out there and chew him. I'm not.